I'm going to record this one. Let's see. Share screen. All right. Be ready. Okay, first off, the checklist for what we're going to do today is on page 383, interior elevation checklist in the Revit book. So I'm going to drop this over on the other side just for reference. And I'm going to open up. Let's see, who's the volunteer today? It is Ben. Yes. All right. So this is Ben's working. He's got a working level 1 and a working level 2. Ben's project is pretty good, actually. I'll pick on him just a little bit, but looking pretty good. So we're going to do the interior elevations of this thing. And I have a checklist for you. We're going to do things like vertical and horizontal dimensions because there's no way we could dimension all the stuff that's in here on the floor plan, right? It'd be a nightmare. It'd be awful. It's hard enough to keynote it, never mind, putting dimensions and tags and stuff like that in there. We're going to tag everything, and I'm going to give you acronyms for the tags. We're going to deal with things like upper cabinets and base cabinets. We will deal with outlets and switches, so the electrical will be on. You can't have, like the switch inside the cabinet. Right now, you guys just put them wherever, so we're going to have to tell them where they are vertically. Okay. So no color thing. We will do keynotes. Most of the keynoting should be easy because you already done it. So now it's almost just a little redundancy there. And then there's some of it will be, oh yeah, I haven't done that one yet. So there'll be some addition. But again, most of this is going to be easy. And then just use as many sheets as you need. I have no idea how many you're going to need. Couple, 3, I don't know. Depends on how many you have and how big they are and how they fit on the sheet. Just don't get too wrapped up in making it fit all perfectly, because you can just add sheets. And then the stuff I want, we're going to do the kitchen island, the master bath, all the secondary baths, the powder room, the guest bath, the tech spaces, the bill pay, the laundry, mechanical, kitchenette, gas fireplace, and anything else you think needs interior elevations. This is the inside. So, you have to show it on the inside. There's a lot to show. If I was doing this room and I was looking at the walls, there's a lot of stuff on the walls. We have the light switch and the fire extinguisher and the service cabinet and the big cabinets and the upper and lower cabinets and the switches on the walls and, right? So there's quite a bit of stuff on each wall. All right, so here we go. Let's start with the kitchen. So this is the way I would like you to deal with the kitchen. In fact, I'm going to start it off this way. Let's go to the individual items here and let's just kind of pick them off here. So view, elevation. I don't think we've done any interior elevations in here, have we? I don't think so. And we're going to do an interior elevation. That's going to put it into a different folder than the building elevations. And the annotation symbol will come out looking a little big and awful and stuff. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and point at this wall back here. Now, what I don't want you to do is to make a separate elevation for this wall and a separate elevation for this wall and a separate elevation for that. Make them like this. Watch the screen. So I've got this first one here and it's going like that. You've seen these before, right? I'm going to move this just a little forward here and right click and go to view. Put the phone away. And it'll look something like that. All right, notice I pulled it up. And then let's go back to the floor plan. So I've got my first one, and then what you're going to do is you're going to hit this little kind of checkbox, and that's going to give you another one. I'm going to move that up. Bring it over. Go to the view. What I don't want, I don't want this. I want it to go all the way down just to level 1. Because if you do this, you're going to end up getting these things on your top floor. Okay, which you don't want. Okay, and back we go. Let's see. Let me go back to that first elevation here. Do you see where I'm going there? In theory, you don't even really need to have that floor showing. You could bring it down like that if you wanted to. I like just bringing them up to the level line. All right, back we go. Now, when you do these things, it's going to make it as long as it makes it. It doesn't really know how far you want to go. What I want you to do is make common sense. Where should this one go? Well, it should go along this wall. Should it go into the pantry? If it doesn't, then don't put it in the pantry. If it should, then put it in the pantry. That's completely up to you. Okay. So you guys have a little bit of judgment there on what you're going to do. And again, they're going to come at different heights. You don't want it to do like this, because what you're going to get if you do that, watch this, you're going to go and you're going to get, see what's going on here? So you're getting the elevation marks in this upper area. I don't want those. Does that make sense? See how they're coming up because they're in level 2. Now watch this. If I go back to level 1 working, actually let's do it from here. And if I just move it down just a little bit, watch this. I'm going to go down. I want to get this ceiling, but I don't need to get this floor. Now, when I go back to level 2 working, notice that one of them is gone. Does that make sense? Because it's not in level 2 anymore. Let me go back to this elevation 1B. I'm going to pull it down a little bit. Again, I'm not pulling it down so far that I'm missing the soffit. But now if I go back to level 1 working, you'll notice that one of them's gone. Now I've got one more left, right? So if I go back to, was that D? And I pull it down. So it's not involving level 2. Now, when I go back to that level 2, you'll notice that that thing's completely gone. Do you see what's happening? So if you make it too high, it goes up into the next floor, and we don't want that. Clear? Okay. Let's see, back to level 1 working. So I've got the 3 there. What I would probably do here is create a new sheet. We'll call this A701 because it's going to be 700s. I'm not sure how many sheets there's going to be here. And I want the interior elevations to be at 1/2 inches a foot. It's going to be a quarter because quarter is what you were in when you did them, but I need to double that, 1/2 inches a foot. You'll notice that things get a little smaller. 1/2 inches a foot. 1/2 inches a foot. So far, so good. Now, we probably don't need this stuff on the bottom here either. I would probably pull that up to, here. We don't need, again, crop all that stuff out because all we're looking at is the stuff on the inside. See where I'm stopping at level 1 working. Again, don't need to see the foundation. Is that good? Looks pretty good. Okay, and then you're going to draw them a sheet. Now we'll get the names later. For right now, it's going to get them like this. So, I don't know. Is that big or not? You tell me, So I'm just going to plop them on. How many can I get on a sheet? Depends on the room, With me? Let's go back to level 1 working. Now, how are you going to deal with the island? So the island, I really kind of need most of it, I guess, especially if it's like this, where it's all 4 sides. So if you want to do all 4 sides, you're going to bring in another one. So view, elevation, just watch the kind of the process here. I'm just going to go ahead and point there. Not sure exactly where to put this, but I'm just going to go ahead and say drop it right there. Okay, don't worry about the names. We'll get rid of those in a minute. So what I'm looking at now is I'm looking that way, right? I want to each one. If you see where I'm going with this. So on this one, I want to look at the island this way. So you just use your crop regions. Does that make sense on the pointing? I know it looks weird because it's kind of behind it, but it's really the only way we're going to be able to do it. And then this one would look this way. Try not to get that stuff in the background. And then this one, crop it. And lastly, was it this one? I'm going to move it back. like so. I know those names are there. We'll get rid of those later. They're really annoying right now, but for right now, like that. And then you're just going to start moving around on the stuff that I'm asking for. On the fireplace wall, elevation, elevation, point to it. Yeah, pick up. That's pretty good, actually. Like that. That'll be one we have. Don't know why it does this, but it does. You have to stretch it up. And just, again, stretch it up so it's going to level 2, but not quite. So that's too high. You know, get it so we can see the ceiling, but not the subfloor. Doesn't really matter because we get those in section views. And then this would just go right to the bottom. So you see your finished floor, but you're not going to see the subfloor underneath. And scale 1/2 inches a foot. So you're gonna have to go through all of these and make sure the scale is correct. Is that making sense? Some of it, you're just going to see what you see from the side. We'll pick up things like outlets and things like that on the side. I think we have that little fake wall right there. On that one, we just right click, hide in view element. And that way we wouldn't see the wall, but we'd see the outlet on the wall. Let's see. Again, don't worry about the names. We'll get the names later. Things like range hoods and all that stuff will get picked up in this view. That's pretty good right there. And one more. All right, getting the basic idea here. And then you're just going to go in on all of the rooms. Let me just do one more room and then I'll turn you loose. How about a bathroom? Now, some of yours might not be done. And I'm well aware of that because this thing is not completely done. But you're going to have to add a few things now that we do the interior elevations. On this bathroom right here, I might only need one. I don't know. I guess in theory you could do a couple, but if I look at this wall right here, I'm going to pick up quite a bit. I might need to turn it around if there's towel bars and stuff over here. But the idea, you know, like I showed you earlier, is to pull that back a little bit. You know, see all your stuff. And this is where we're going to pick off the verticals, which we don't have. We did, you know, really want to have the horizontals either. We have dimensions stuff we need to put in here. We're going to set all these to 1/2 inches a foot. And I would say view display fine. That way you see all the plumbing fixtures really pretty well. All right, so I would like you to just start making a whole bunch of these interior elevations. I'm well aware that they're going to be super annoying in your working drawings because these are at 1/4 inches a foot. So these things get really big. But let's start knocking some of those out. Yep. Well, no, it's all about the scale of the drawing. So what we do, have we done expanded plans in here? So that's what they do. So if they did an expanded bathroom plan, they would do that. And then the scale of the expanded plan, you know, would be 1/2 inches a foot. And all of a sudden those things are smaller. So it's all about the scale. It's not about the annotation object. So when you do expanded bathroom plans, like in commercial, and there's a lot of stuff inside there, you know, you can't do 1/4 inches a foot. It's impossible, you know, because you get these gigantic annotations. Yeah, don't worry about these things right here. I'll show you to get rid of those later. So I just want you to start popping in a few, and that will kind of lead me to my next part of the demo. All right, start with the kitchen, if you would. And then work anywhere else you want, maybe bathrooms or something. All right, let's go maybe a 1/2 an hour.